Good morning. Hola, buenos dias. I am Laura Radnoff. My pronouns are she, her, and I serve gratefully as the treasurer on our board of trustees and also as a member of your pledge drive team. Yay! I want to give a special welcome to anyone joining us for the first time. Reverend Tim often reminds us that the most important person in the sanctuary on Sunday morning is someone who is visiting us for the first time. Stepping into someplace new can often feel like a leap of faith or a jump into the unknown. We hope you know how glad we are to have you with us today. Inclusivity and celebration of diversity is at the heart of Unitarian Universalism, which is why it gives me joy to say, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, California. Welcome to everyone on our Alluvial Avenue church campus. Welcome to everyone on our online church campus. Welcome to everyone joining the service later on Facebook or YouTube. We are one congregation in many places. I welcome you, no matter where you were born, your age, the color of your skin, or what you believe about religion and spirituality. If you are neurodiverse and your beautiful brain processes things in different ways, you are welcome here. You are welcome no matter how long you went to school or how much money is in your bank account. Your disabilities are welcome here. We welcome everyone from the LGBTQ+ community. Different understandings and expressions of gender are respected in this church. You are welcome if you are a citizen of this country, visiting this country, are an undocumented resident, or protected by DACA. If you believe that easy and safe access to abortion is a fundamental human right, you are welcome here. If you came on your own or with someone else, you are welcome here. If there is a song in your heart, or your heart is weary and worn, perhaps even torn and broken, you are welcome here. May you find a gentle embrace of caring. All are welcome here. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. We honor the past, present, and future stewards of the sacred land on which our Alluvial Avenue campus sits. We worship on the traditional homeland of the Yokuts people. If you are on our online campus and want your joy, sorrow, concern, or gratitude included in today's service, just text it to us at our text number 559-337-3772. Be sure to text your name as well so we know who you are. You can also type it into the chat box, but please do it now so we have time to gather them and to share later in the service. Now, in the comfort of your home, in the silence of your heart, or here on our Alluvial Avenue sanctuary, let's take a moment to say good morning to each other.
Buenos dias. Oh, you can do better than that on a rainy, chilly Fresno Central Valley morning. Buenos dias. My nombre es Mateo. My name is Tim. My pronouns are he, him, and I serve gratefully and happily as minister of this congregation. As we've said, we have a vibrant Alluvial Avenue campus as well as a vibrant online campus. Every once in a while, someone from our online campus joins us live in the sanctuary. I'm so thrilled that one of our favorite folks from up in the Bay Area, a very wonderful member of our church, Lynn, is in person today. So yay to Lynn. Woo! So let the sound of the tingsha take us to that tender, gentle place that opens ourselves to this profound truth that we are different, but we are one.
Smiling face, mid-stretched hand, through dispute, small and grand, we will lay down our guns. We are one. In the rain, through the war, have shared pain before. In our grief, when it's done, we are one. Where the earth touches sky, we are born, we all die. Where the clear waters run, we are one, we are one. When the light touches land, over sea, over sand, when each day has begun, we are one. Somos uno. When the rock wears away and the tide rolls and sways by the moon, by the sun, we are one. Where the earth touches sky, we are born, we all die. Where the clear waters run, we are one, we are one. In the soft of the night, we are learning not to fight. In our hearts, in the drum, we are one. Somos uno. In the birth of the child, through the fierce and the mild, in our daughters and sons, we are one. we are one. Conocidos, Dios, Dios, somos uno, somos uno.
If you are on our online campus and have a chalice or a candle, we invite you to bring it close because we will be kindling it in just a moment. Our opening words come from Unitarian Universalist minister, the Reverend Carol Thomas Chisel. As we've just heard sung, we are one. We are connected by blood and bone, mind and heart, and sometimes bricks and mortar and internet. Like the finest woven tapestries of old, and the recipes blended and stirred in our family's secret recipes, our lives are intentionally intertwined. And we are made, nope, we are fashioned into a stronger community by those connections. This interlacing, intertwining, and intermingling of our existence makes us whole. This interlacing of our lives makes us whole, happiness and sorrow. This intertwining of our lives makes us whole, blessings and burdens. This intermingling of our lives makes us whole, lament and laughter. May we allow the magic and mystery, often named or called spirit, may we allow it to be with us this day, interwoven among us. I invite those on our online campus to light their chalices and candles as Cheyenne kindles the flame on our Alluvial Avenue campus. And as Ron prepares to show us the lyric slides, I invite us to rise in body or spirit. Let's sing When the Spirit Says Do. Want to change the slide, yep.
When the Spirit says sing, you gotta sing. Oh Lord, you gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. When the Spirit says dance, you gotta dance. Oh Lord, you gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. When the Spirit says shout, you gotta shout. Oh Lord, you gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. You gotta march when the Spirit says march. You gotta march when the Spirit says march. When the Spirit says march, you gotta march. Oh Lord, you gotta march when the Spirit says march. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you gotta do. Oh Lord, you gotta do when the Spirit says do.
Invite us to remain standing as we say together the words of our mission. Ron changes the slide. La misión de la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de Fresno es amar inclusivamente, crecer espiritualmente, servir con gratitud y trabajar por la justicia. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno is to love inclusively, grow spiritually, serve gratefully, and work for justice. Please be seated. So this morning, working our slides and doing all the complex camera work, Ian took the day off today, a well-deserved day off, so Ron has stepped into the Herculean task of running our video, running our slides. So I realized when the kids were going to be with us for the start of the service today, I realized we haven't done our body blessing body prayer for several months, and I really love this because it reminds us that we can bless ourselves and each other with peace, but we can do it while we're moving our bodies. And some of us like to move our bodies when we're in worship. I'm one of them, as you can see. So the motions and, well, we'll do the words first. The words are peace be with me. So say that. Not yet, Ron. I'm gonna teach it all first. So it's peace be with me. So say that. Then it's peace before me. Then it's peace to the right of me. Then it's peace behind me. Then it's peace to the left of me. Then it's going to be peace above me, peace below me, and then peace within. And the second time we do it, it will be peace for you, so it'll be peace be with you, peace be for you. Third time, it will be us. So the motions are going to be peace be with me, peace before me, peace to the right of me. Yep, you got to do it. And then, like a dog wagging its tail, peace behind me, peace to the right of me, peace up left of me, peace above me, peace below me, and then peace within. And in good Unitarian Universalist fashion, if you want to go right when we're saying left, totally fine with me. So let's rise in body or spirit. One of our favorite performers from our virtual campus is Lee Morris. She sang to us many times during the shutdown, and I love it when she comes back. Take it away, Leah.
Peace be with me, peace before me, peace to the right of me, peace behind me, peace to the left of me, peace above me, peace below me, peace within, peace be with you, peace before you, peace to the right of you, peace behind you, peace to the left of you, peace above you, peace below you, peace within, peace be with us, peace before us, peace to the right of us, peace behind us, peace to the left of us, peace above us, peace below us, peace within. be with us. Peace before us, peace to the right of us, peace behind us, peace to the left of us, peace above us, peace below us, peace within, peace within, peace within, peace within.
Breath in. And as we exhale, the adults can sit to their seats. And kids, we're going to sing you off as you head off to your spiritual explorations. So let's sing.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life, we hold you in our love as you go.
As the sounds of our children gently fade from our midst, I invite us to release our spirit into a moment of centering and calm. As we breathe in peace. As we breathe out love. We breathe in peace. And we breathe out love. One last time. We breathe in peace. And we breathe out love. As we continue breathing together, let's imagine that our breath can carry us back over the last 7 days and the gift of life that unfolded for us during that time. As we breathe, we reflect. In the past week, was there a moment when you took steps to build or nurture a relationship or to create a beloved community? One of the ways we nurture an experience of beloved community is by creating together the sacred space to hold the complexities of our lives, our joys, our sorrows, concerns, and our gratitude. As we entered the Alluvial Avenue sanctuary this morning, some of us wrote down a joy, sorrow, or concern, or gratitude on the small cards at the table by the doors. Those on our virtual campus were invited to share by text or in the chat box. This is what is alive among us today. Ali E., please enjoy a cupcake after the service in celebration of my birthday, which was Tuesday. Thank you all for the love and support over the last year. Jackie says, the service for Sydney yesterday was wonderful. I second that. Betty P. says, in loving memory of two women who will always inspire me, Sydney and Babs. Reverend Tim would like to share the following. I join the entire congregation mourning the loss of Babs Eskin, who passed into the mysteries of death this past week. Babs was a longtime member, a cherished church leader, philanthropist, and social activist. The impact Babs had on the congregation, along with her devoted husband Saul, cannot be put into words. Together, they have been unwavering pillars of the church and two of the most influential matriarchs and patriarchs of UU Fresno. Rest in power and in peace, Babs Eskin. Tiki Ainake P says, Tiki is having surgery on the 19th and is asking for prayers and support. As we collectively hold all that's been shared this morning and all that lies in the sacredness of our hearts, we also hold in our thoughts those unable to be with us because of health or mobility. Rich B, Bev F, Glenda R, Pat M. We also remember the long and well-lived life of beloved church member Sydney Story. Sydney died unexpectedly in August after a serious fall. Yesterday at Sydney's celebration of life, family and friends gathered in this sanctuary to honor a life that touched so many of ours. As a respected anthropologist, Sydney was also a long-serving member of our worship arts team and led many a Sunday service over the years. Sydney, you are loved and missed deeply. Looking beyond our own church community, we grieve that the state of Arizona has reinstated a 160-year-old near total ban on abortion. Written 50 years before Arizona became a state and a year before the Civil War. In a decision this past Tuesday, Arizona's highest court upheld an 1864 law passed by the territorial legislature that bans nearly all abortions, a decision that could have far-reaching and negative consequences for women's health care and significant ramifications on election year politics in a critical battleground state. We also marked the end of Ramadan this past Tuesday, a holy month on the Islamic calendar, when many Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset, using the time to spiritually reflect and do good deeds. On Tuesday, Eid al-Fitr, the Muslim festival of the breaking of the fast, was celebrated this past Tuesday, a time when loved ones gather to indulge in a celebratory feast. We are also continuing to celebrate Arab American Heritage Month, celebrated every April in the United States. We expand our circle of love beyond these walls to those who have no one to remember them or to speak their names gently and with love. For all that has been shared, we will light our candle of community. As our candle burns, please join our voices in singing our call to meditation, There is a Love.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There sosteniéndome, sosteniendo todo que amo. Hay un amor sosteniendo todo, yo descanso en este amor. There is a love holding you. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. You rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding on. We rest in this love.
May the sun always shine upon you. Please join me in a time of prayer and reflection. Oh, Great Spirit, Minalum, Mother Earth, we come together with grateful hearts. Thank you for this time of nourishment, community, and growth. Here in this season, we see the blessings of bursting colors stretching towards the sun to remind us that we too are capable of blessing each other with our colors. We hear the blessings of melodies called from branches above to remind us that our songs too are made more beautiful when sung together. We feel the blessings of our ancestors come to visit in the breeze, reminding us always that we are never alone. We are always connected. Part of the waters that flow in us and around us, part of the grasses in which we plant, part of the scurrying legs, the curious paws, the fluttering wings. May we repeat these reminders to ourselves, to those we love, and to those who we are learning to love. May these reminders soothe, a balm to all the burns. May they rejoice, a hymn for all hope. May they continue, a promise to all our grandchildren. You are never alone. You are always connected. Que así sea. Bendito sea. Amen. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
There's a light in the darkness, though the night is black as my skin. There's a light burning bright, showing me the way. But I know where I've been. There's a cry in the distance. It's a voice that comes from deep within. There's a cry asking why. I pray the answer's up ahead. 'Cause I know where I've been. There's a road we've been traveling, lost so many along the way. But the riches will be plenty, worth the price we have to pay. There's a dream in the future. There's a struggle that we have yet to end. And there's pride in my heart to lift us to tomorrow. 'Cause just to sit would be a sin. I'll give thanks to my God, 'cause I know where I've been.
Good morning. My name is Riva Guimon. My pronouns are she, her. And this is my reflection on our last common read on white supremacy. Over the past couple years, Ellis Vance and I have been partners in facilitating 4 common reads, all with the topics on racial issues. Our common read experience from mistakes and miracles and the folks that joined us took Ellis and I to become more passionate about our next read, to delve into the ideal of more intercultural congregation. Ellis, being on fire, committed us to Robin DiAngelo's award-winning book on white fragility, a white woman whose worldview on racism changed once she partnered with people of color to go into the business world to train on diversity and learn the extreme fragility of white America on the topic of racism. Robin DiAngelo bluntly describes white privilege and how she has benefited personally from being white, as does every other white person in America. She sets a platform of white fragility for those who deny racism and even some who sees themselves as victims, enough to make a person of color cringe. DiAngelo shares in one of her videos there's a loss in her childhood by not being taught there was never any inherent value in the perspective or experience of people of color in her life. Over 20 people showed up for our common read, and we met 4 consecutive weeks for 2-hour sessions. Ellis did a great job setting up the agenda each week with powerful videos to drive our discussions. The dynamics of the group were a few of us of color and mostly white participants. I share that because most of my conversations about racial issues are within my family or with a safe group whom I'm certain are like-minded. I do keep it safe, mostly with people of color. After each person introduced themselves and shared their reasons for being there, for attending, I learned there was an intentional desire in moving forward in their own personal journey on racial issues, and I felt safe. My reflection and my experience over the 4 weeks, we were all genuinely doing internal work and sharing lived experience as we took in the information. There were experiences that I didn't relate to, and it gave me a better understanding of another frame of reference, especially when we discussed the neighborhoods that we lived in. That impacted me, potentially influencing my future conversations about racial issues with my family and with others. I came away with some changes in my thinking. Potentially, change is hard. I felt a connectedness. I came away wanting more. I felt that sense of being deprived of information about others that I didn't know because there were things I had not heard before. And it was reciprocal. I felt heard. These were not intellectual conversations, and I didn't want that. I didn't want it to be an intellectual conversation. They were deep discussions. This group had an eagerness to continue to grow in the kind of discussions that is never done. And so they were courageous in the group to keep going. One of our statements that comes from the book, Mistakes and Miracles, is, we're stumbling in the right direction. There was a feeling in our last session of not wanting this to end. We actually made plans to meet again, and we have. Last week, a small group of us have met again, tackling the book, Layla Sayad, Me and White Supremacy. And that involves journaling. That is a lot of work, and we're doing it. Because if we don't, the progress will stop. When we come together at the table as we did, we have not deprived ourselves of each other. And I want to close with a short paragraph from Mistakes and Miracles that I think is fitting. When congregations do the intentional work of building anti-racist, beloved community, they create a space where no one is left unchanged because everyone learns from one another and grows together. Thank you.
I invite us to rise in body or spirit, and let's sing When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. If you don't know it, kind of just go with it, but as Ron's putting up the slides, just read the words because they're really beautiful and they'll be reflected in the sermon. Let's sing together.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in in a holy place. When we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a living mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Please be seated. Such a gentleman. We just sang these words. When we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, when we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. The story that I was told when I was a kid growing up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, was a story steeped in the pride of immigrants who pulled themselves up by their bootstraps to seize the American dream. This country is a melting pot, my grandpa Frank would tell me. Our neighbors are hard-working Polish people, not afraid to get their hands dirty in the smoke-filled steel mills that line the rivers outside of downtown Pittsburgh. Grandpa Frank would say to me, our people entered this country as immigrants, but soon they were just Americans, the same as everybody else. Grandpa Frank would then pause and declare in that strong voice of his, this country is a grand melting pot where our ethnic differences melt away into the greatness of the American dream. This is the story I heard growing up. And, dear ones, this is the false myth I was taught while growing up. I was mentioning this story about my grandpa this past Thursday to Jabari, a mixed-race colleague of mine who identifies as a proud black Puerto Rican. Jabari shook his head and said, too many white folks love that image of an American melting pot. I know you know this, but your grandfather forgot to tell you that it was a European immigrant melting pot. Us folks of color, we weren't even allowed to get near that melting pot. Hell, my grandfather couldn't even get into the same bathroom or bus seat that white folks could. My grandfather was never going to be allowed to jump hand in hand with your grandfather into America's melting pot. When we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. As I wrote in a sermon several years ago, I grew up in a white suburban community in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. As Dr. Robin DiAngelo, the noted author on race, points out, I grew up and am still living in a country that gives constant messages that white people are more valuable, are better, and are more important than people of color. Look at white people's centrality in history books, textbooks. Look at white people's centrality in media and advertising and film. Look at the erasure of race that is happening in Florida, Texas, and other places across this country. Notice that an individual person of color can sit at the tables of power. Kamala Harris, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Sonia Sotomayor, but the overwhelming majority of decision makers will be white. While we all may explicitly reject the notion that one race is inherently better than the other, we cannot avoid internalizing the message of white superiority as it is ever present in mainstream culture. Dr. DiAngelo goes on to say, the implicit message is that there is no inherent value in the presence or perspectives of people of color. This is an example of the relentless messages of white superiority that circulate all around us, shaping all of our identities and worldviews. I grew up white in a country that has bestowed on me, slide 92, whiteness. So white is the color of my skin. Whiteness is the socialized superiority. As a web article entitled Key Features of Whiteness states, whiteness is a set of privileges granted to white-skinned people and groups. It is, dear ones, a reality based on beliefs, behaviors, habits, and attitudes that result in an unequal distribution of power and privilege based on our skin color. And this is important. Whiteness is often invisible to white people, but not to those oppressed or disadvantaged by it. It shapes how white people view themselves and others, and places white people in a place of structural advantage where white cultural norms and practices go unnamed and unquestioned. Cultural racism is founded in the belief that whiteness is considered universal and allows one to think and speak as if whiteness described and defined the world. Now, we are, and just look around, you'll notice, we are a majority white congregation, and we are in a majority white part of Fresno. And as a congregation, we truly want to live more fully into our vision of being an anti-racist, multicultural congregation that reflects more of the vibrant diversity that is Fresno. But as we continue to wrestle with how to do that, as Riva said, as we stumble trying to do this, we need to ask ourselves an important question. To what extent are we a place where white cultural norms and practices go unnamed and unquestioned? A church member who identifies as a person of color recently shared with me something deeply personal. And this person gave me permission to share it today. They told me, I love so much about UU Fresno. I love its caring and rebellious spirit. I love our progressive values. I love our Black Lives Matter banners and pride flags and Planned Parenthood posters. I love how we are trying to decenter whiteness by having speakers and guest musicians of color, and by not only quoting white sources of wisdom and insight, not only quoting dead white guys. But I also feel that as a person of color, for me to feel truly accepted here, I need to code switch. I need to talk white, walk white, and be very careful not to say anything about race that might make someone who is white feel uncomfortable. I can't be fully, authentically, culturally, and ethnically me. That's the way it is in any majority white space. But I want to be part of the work here that lets UU Fresno offer something different. I often say that Unitarian Universalism welcomes all of who we are. We aren't asked to leave any part of ourselves at the door. We can bring in all our questions, all our doubts, and all our answers. We can bring in all of ourselves and be celebrated for who we are. But, as we just heard, that isn't the experience of some persons of color. Which means that we aren't fully yet living into the values and principles of our Unitarian Universalist faith. It's not to make us feel guilty, it's to give us an opportunity. It just means we've got some learning and we've got some growing to do. We are a majority white congregation in a majority white part of Fresno. And we truly want to live more fully into this vision of being an anti-racist, multicultural congregation that reflects the vibrant diversity of Fresno. But as we wrestle, as we stumble with how to do this, we need to ask ourselves, to what extent are we a place where white cultural norms and practices go unnamed and unquestioned? The purpose, as slide 94 appears, the purpose of Unitarian Universalism is to actively engage its members in the transformation of the world through liberating love. I love this statement, and I'm going to ask you to say it with me, please. The purpose of Unitarian Universalism is to actively engage its members in the transformation of the world through liberating love. Church is not a spectator sport. It is an active, roll up your sleeves, get to know each other, let's work to create change kind of place. If this church is doing what it should be doing, no one who enters here should leave unchanged. We want to be changed by each other. As Riva told us just a few minutes ago, church members Riva and Ellis have been facilitating multiple book discussions with the goal of creating spaces that are safe enough, courageous enough to have authentic and vulnerable conversations about race. Riva and Ellis got excited lately. And if you ever see Riva and Ellis excited, you're going to get excited as well. They got excited, as we heard, by the depth of conversation that was happening in the groups that they were facilitating. But they also got excited by a new word and a new concept. And Ellis said, I won one of your sermons in the church auction, and I want you to preach a sermon that ultimately ends up talking about this new word and this new concept. They got excited when they learned there is a difference between being, slide 95, multicultural and intercultural. Could we just say those two words? We won't explode, I promise you. Multicultural, intercultural. They learned that the first word is passive, the second word is active, and more than active, that second word can be transformational. According to the Spring Institute of Intercultural Learning, slide 96, multicultural refers to a group that contains several cultural or ethnic groups. People live alongside each other, but each cultural group does not necessarily have engaging interactions with each other. And that's what we've been stating is our goal, to live more fully into becoming a multicultural congregation. That doesn't sound terribly transforming to me. But, slide 97, intercultural describes a group in which there is a deep understanding and respect for all cultures. Intercultural communication focuses on the mutual exchange of ideas and cultural norms and the development of deep relationships. In an intercultural group, no one is left unchanged because everyone learns from one another and grows together. Could we say that last sentence together? It's a juicy one. In an intercultural group, no one is left unchanged because everyone learns from one another and grows together. In their book, Mistakes and Miracles, Unitarian Universalist Nancy Palmer Jones and Karen Lynn suggest that these definitions lift up a crucial distinction. Congregations, they write, that long to be diverse may succeed in creating a community in which folks with different racial, ethnic, and cultural identities live alongside each other. But, they write, without intention, training, and practice, these congregations may not achieve the engagement and understanding that recognize systemic differences in power and that truly celebrate cultural differences and similarities. In other words, without intention, training, and practice, congregations won't get to true community. Without intention, training, and practice, a congregation won't become a beloved community. We still have work to do, dear ones. That's why on Saturday, May 4th, we are inviting everyone who is a member or friend of the congregation to come together for a workshop entitled A Community of Communities, Exploring Diversity, Growth, and Belonging, led by Unitarian Universalist Paula Cole-Jones, a leading facilitator of congregational transformation around diversity, equity, and inclusion. Unlike the state of Florida, Unitarian Universalists believe DEI learning is not just a good thing, it is a necessary thing. It is a spiritual thing. Because as Unitarian Universalists, we truly believe that when we tell our stories from deep inside and we listen with a loving mind and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. This is how we create beloved community. Reverend Gary Smith, a Unitarian Universalist minister, writes, as Unitarian Universalists, ours is a shared ministry, a giving and a receiving. We tell one another our stories, our innermost thoughts, and we seek to listen, if we can, with sensitivity and purpose and love. Unitarian Universalists do not live creeds or theologies. We live lives. We are engaged with real events and people. The spiritual center of our lives is not to be found in a faith, no matter how cherished or revered. It comes, rather, out of the openness and honesty of true engagement, the courage and the pain and the love we experience with one another. Sometimes that openness is searching and doubting, confused or serene, ambivalent or empowered, but it is an openness nonetheless. And out of it comes a vision of a world made new by the reality of our lives lived in the service of love and justice, of gentle goodness and forgiveness. We seek to live in the struggle of each and every one of us as we seek to come to an understanding of who we are, where we are, how we are. We seek to raise up a vision of where we must go as a people. And we join our hands and our hearts to get there. Because we know when we tell our stories from deep inside and we listen, we truly listen with a loving mind. And we hear our voices in each other's words, then our hearts create a holy place. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling strong every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
On the second Sunday of each month, we hold a special offering for a social justice group, organization, or individual that is in alignment with our progressive Unitarian Universalist values. This Sunday, we are pleased to welcome Cecily Callahan, not in her role as a staff member, but as the founder of Ash Tree Green Burial.
Hello, my name is Cecily Callahan. My pronouns are she, her, and I stand before you now not as the coordinator of community life, but as the founder of Ash Tree Green Burial. Ash Tree Green Burial is a nonprofit with the mission of opening a green burial cemetery and providing other options for green disposition to the people of Fresno County. In a nutshell, green burial is the way burial was done pre-Civil War era. The body is not embalmed. It is placed in either a biodegradable casket or simple shroud, and then it is placed directly into the ground without the use of a concrete grave liner. This way, the body can return directly to the earth, and the leaching of harmful chemicals into the earth and eventually groundwater is greatly reduced. I discovered green burial in 2008 when my grandmother passed away. I was 19, and it was the first time I was able to see what went into typical funeral and burial preparations. It seemed to me like a lot of money and a lot of to-do for something that I believed shouldn't be so stressful and expensive at such an emotionally raw and trying time in someone's life. I also didn't like that our burial practices were harming our ecosystem, and cremation was no better. I figured that there had to be another option that wouldn't be so trying on both the loved ones left here or the earth itself, and what I discovered was green burial. I started getting serious about opening a green burial cemetery in Fresno County in 2020. Ash Tree was officially formed 2 years ago on April 21st, 2022. Since then, we have developed a board of directors, and yes, I did start this organization a little backwards. Launched a website, had a speaking engagement, tabled at various community events, started an email newsletter, and had an article written about our goals in the Fresno Bee. Our goal is to have a cemetery open by 2030. While this goal might be lofty to some, I believe it can happen with the help of our community. I fully understand that opening a new cemetery takes a lot of money, and no, I don't intend to raise all of that money today. But with the money that is raised today, we hope to hire a grant writer to secure grants that will help us in opening the cemetery. We are also looking for land, so if you or anyone you know has farmland that they may be willing to have used for green burial, please let me know. Our mission statement is, Ash Tree Green Burial exists to provide people with an environmentally responsible disposition while also educating our community on the importance of giving back to the earth. Our goal is to provide a necessary service in an eco-friendly, minimally invasive, and meaningful way. Through green burials and death-positive education, we seek to return death care back into the hands of the family, honor our deceased, and be responsible ancestors that bequeath our descendants with healthy soil and clean water. Thank you so much for your support.
In the spirit of giving, let us join our voices in our call to offering. If not us, then who? If not open hearts, then what? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? If not generously, then how? If not us, then who? Here's a slide showing how you can give to support this new endeavor here in Fresno. The morning offering for Ash Tree Green Burial will now be gratefully received. And you can also drop your offering in the baskets with the ushers on the way out the door. We lit our chalice this morning to remind us that we are one, that we are connected, intertwined, interwoven, as we prepare to extinguish this flame and step either to coffee hour or out into this drippy, somewhat dreary day. Let us join our voices in our chalice extinguishing words led by Karen and Troy. Oh, Karen and Troy, no video there?
Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts.
Just a few reminders and thank yous first. We are now officially at slide 114. Ron has been doing a great job stepping in for Ian. Also doing all the camera work that our online campus is seeing, but we are not here on Alluvial Ave. So thank you, Ron, for stepping in today. Speaking of stepping in, for the last 15 months, we have been blessed by having Mark as our sound technician. He has been missing being at church with his wife, at the church that is so important to his wife. So today is Mark's final day as our sound technician. He'll be transitioning to the other church hand in hand with his beloved wife. So can we thank Mark for 15 years, 15 months of sound tech back in the sound booth. And just know he's mixing simultaneously sound levels in the sanctuary and on the live stream, and those sound mixes are completely different at the same time. Cecily is our coordinator of community life, back in her staff role. If you have questions about how to get connected here at church, Cecily can't wait to talk to you. And Cecily can't wait for you to come to coffee hour today. It will be inside on this side of the sanctuary. What that means is we're going to need some help bringing in tables and then setting up the chairs around them. So if you are physically able to do that, we need your bodily help. So thank you in advance. Also look for the question and answer table with a member of our board of trustees. You can grab your coffee if you're new and sit there, and good conversation will unfold. Because of a change in the family's plan, our memorial stone dedication for Karen and Al Goodman has been postponed to a soon-to-be-determined later date. I've also been asked to let you know that next Sunday is our food offering that delivers food to the families of the El Dorado Park neighborhood and for the families at Valley Children's Hospital. Please pick up a food strip on your way out of the sanctuary on Alluvial Ave if you can participate, and bring that food item back next week. Thank you for your support. And just a moment, I want to remind you on our next slide, a community of communities exploring diversity, growth, and belonging, facilitated by Paula Cole-Jones. We are so excited to have her. She is the co-creator of the 8th principle in Unitarian Universalism. It will be Saturday, May 4th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can participate live in the sanctuary, or you can participate online from Zoom, both ways of being together. We hope so many of you will sign up and join us for this. The next day, as your reward, it is our all-church picnic. It will be Sunday, May 5th, 12:30, just up the street at Railroad Park. Thank you, Carrie, because I know you'll be part of the crew that's whipping up all kinds of excitement. So, church picnic just a few Sundays away. Now, the last thing we do is we like to welcome folks who are here for the first, second, or third time. If this is your first, second, or third time, could you stand for just a moment? We're not going to leave you standing alone for long. Yay, good to have you back. Hooray, hooray. I invite the rest of us to rise and let us join together in our closing words and our sung benediction. If you're comfortable, you can join hands. If not, your hands over your beautiful, precious heart. These words of benediction come from L.R. Nost Adapted. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break. Most things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go out, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits for the light that is you. The broken world waits for the light that is us. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. Let's sing.
Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace, go with love. In love, go in peace.
Shalom and assalamu alaikum.